Hi everybody, thanks for checking in with GeerCrest today. So you can see we've got little baby goats running around here. How you doing, little boys? So today we're actually going to talk about digestion, something interesting. So today we're going to be comparing and talking about the digestion of two of the animals here on the farm. First, we're going to be talking about ruminants and the digestion of our sheep and our goats. And then we're going to talk about how poultry, such as chickens and turkeys, how they digest their food. So when we talk about domestic animals and we say ruminants, a ruminant in terms of a domestic animal is really a cow, a sheep, or a goat. You see there are other animals, deer, elk, for instance, are also ruminants. But in terms of domestic animals, it's really going to be cows, sheep, and goats. Now, a ruminant is really characteristic in that it has four stomachs or four chambers within that stomach organ. The rumen, the reticulum, the omasum, and the abomasum. Now, each one of those individual stomachs or regions serves its own purpose. So when a goat, for instance, is out on pasture and it's grazing, all it's doing is pretty much shoveling food in its mouth. So you'll see they don't stop to chew. It's really about pick, chomp, chomp, send it down. It's amazing. We have these big leaf maples, and in the fall their leaves get huge. And it's amazing how they literally will just take a bite, fold it in half, and then completely send it down. Oh, hi, Heidi. All right. Oh, don't eat my notes. I need those. Oh, hang tight. Okay. All right, I'll just hold on to them. Okay. So when they're out there on out there grazing, again, their main interest is just essentially in shoveling food into their mouth. So what they're doing is they are. Okay, we're back. Ingrid, with her nose, turned off the video and stopped recording. Okay, so anyway, they're shoveling food into their mouth. All that food is really going straight to their rumen, and that is the first real stage in the digestion process, but really it's also a storage tank. All right, what do you think, Koku? So it's essentially a storage tank. So they're shoveling food down into their rumen as fast as possible. Now what they'll do later is they'll come back up here to the barn and they'll just hang out. They're gonna lay down, find a nice quiet corner, and they're just gonna sit there. And for about as much time as they spent on pasture, they are going to be sitting and chewing their cud. So what they're doing is they're taking their food and they're sending it back up from the rumen, and they're chewing it again and really spit. Hey, Ingrid, stop. Thank you, sweetheart. And hey. Oh, geez. You know, this might just be a fun little video of goats. Hey. What are y'all doing? Hey, can I just have a moment with people? Okay, real quick. Okay, so they chew it back up again. And then it goes on into the other chambers. Thank you. Hey. I love you too. Okay, gosh. So what makes them really unique is their the microbes and whatnot that are actually inside and doing a lot of work, the digestion. Now those microbes are really helping to ferment that food, which is a little bit different than what we do in terms of eating, which is why we don't eat tons of grass. Now, just like with humans, as okay, come on, go on. Okay, as with humans, as we get older, those microbes are actually changing. So for instance, a lot of the babies that we see here on the farm, you know, this has just been quite an adventure. Okay, so the babies are being weaned. Now when they drink, the way that they go down on their front legs and drink up from their mothers, if I could get Francis to stop knocking my camera over, so they angle themselves so that when they're drinking milk, it actually skips the rumen, so it goes straight into the reticulum and further into their digestion. Okay, all right, let's go check on the chickens. Jesus. Okay, so it's a little bit quieter and calmer over here with the chickens. So let's talk a little bit about how they digest their food. So one of the important things that we have to remember is that chickens don't have teeth. So whereas the goats and the sheep, they're going to go out and graze, store all that food in their rumen, they're going to send it back up and chew it again. Well, chickens don't have that luxury. So instead, what they're going to do is they're going to go around and they're going to eat, and all that food is going to go to their crop, which is essentially just like an extension of the esophagus that sits. Hi, honey. Can I grab you? Yes. Sorry, sweetie. Okay, so the crop sits right here. So sometimes if you look at a chicken, they might have sort of a slight bulge to one side or the other. That's essentially just the storage tank for all the food and whatnot that they're eating. All right. Okay, so once they essentially stuff that crop, again, they can't chew their food, so they might have large grains or whatnot, then it's going to travel to the gizzard. Now, the gizzard is a really strong muscular organ that has a really thick lining. Now, in that gizzard, the chicken is typically going to have things that are going to help grind up that grain or grind up its food. So quite often, you might hear about chickens eating rocks. Here, because we're growing them on pasture, there's not a lot of gravel or whatnot to for them to actually graze on. So what we do is we supplement their diet with grit, which is essentially just, again, small rocks. So they're going to eat those rocks, and that's going to go to the gizzard. And that's essentially going to be the grinding mechanism of how they're going to grind their food. So again, the gizzard's a really, really strong muscular organ. It's got that thick lining to protect that muscle. But again, it's going to use those rocks to go through and grind that food and grind up their grain using those rocks and those other pebbles that they may have eaten. All right, so when we look at both the gizzards as well as the rumen in cows and sheep and goats, they're all edible. In fact, throughout the world, tripe, which is the stomach from those ruminants, is consumed quite popularly throughout the world. I actually happen to be a complete lover of tripe. It's unique, but it's really, really quite delicious if you cook it right. Same thing with the gizzards. They can be really, really quite tasty if you know how to clean them and peel that sort of tough layer of skin off. So if you clean them right, the gizzards are absolutely wonderful. Again, they're just a muscle, right? So when we eat chicken, typically that's what we're eating anyway. Last thing I wanted to mention when it came to ruminants and their stomach is that typically the last chamber of their stomach, the abomasum, typically traditionally it's used to make cheese. So it produces an enzyme called rennet that is commonly used in making cheeses. So historically, what they would do commonly, it's most commonly from a calf, is you take a piece of that stomach, typically before they're eating and grazing when they're still drinking milk, and you can preserve that and dilute it with water, and again, use it as an agent to make cheese. All right, well, it's starting to rain. We've talked about how yummy eating chicken gizzards are, and how yummy eating tripe is. But if y'all have any questions or want to know more information about ruminants or how poultry use their gizzards to help digest their food, leave a comment as always. Otherwise, thanks for checking in with GeerCrest today. I'm going to run inside before it starts to rain. All right, until next time, thanks.